we talk about employee engagement, right? And that employee engagement is really not only evolving, but it's critical that some people say for it to be there. Without it, you're going to have a lot of problems. Can you kind of talk about from a contact center industry perspective, what are those challenges that you think leaders need to prioritize or manage through so that employee engagement is actually front and center? And the second piece is employee engagement really that important? Do you really need to focus on it as much? Or is it kind of a thing you do because you got to do it, but it's really not the priority?
Oh man. Oh man, that is a loaded question. I'm gonna start with the second part first. Yes, absolutely. Employee engagement is vital and it's necessary. And I'm not just saying that because I talk about employee engagement all the time, but I absolutely believe it. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it all the time. Um, I believe that in order for a contact center agent to give a great experience, a great CX or provide great CX, they need to be engaged in the work that they do. Yeah, they need to be engaged in the company, in their management team, in their colleagues, in their own team. They need to have that engagement in all those different aspects in the organizational culture. Um, be otherwise, it's gonna show in how they correspond with a customer, with a client. They're going to provide, I would say, lesser, um, not only lesser CX to the customer, but then with their disengagement, that also leads to higher attrition. So then you have agents that have less tenure. So yeah, I believe in order to keep a solid workforce within the contact center, to make sure you have the tribal knowledge, to make sure you have tenured agents that are doing and providing good CX, you have to focus on employee engagement. I would say if you're going to focus on employee engagement, even more so than certain KPIs, I think the KPIs will work themselves out if your employees are engaged. And again, going back to the previous part of our conversation, finding out how to engage your employees is again just figuring out what is motivating your employees. Well, like when I worked for American Express, we were inbound business retention. So it was business American Express card holders calling to cancel. And my team's responsibility was to show them the value in the product and convince them to keep their account open and use their Amex card. Um, so it's really understanding, okay, like what is enticing as an agent. Yes, it could be money and some of those external factors, but what is the why do you show up every day? Why do you try to do a good job? Why do you try to help the card member spend more money on the card? Why are you trying to help American Express make more money? So why are you what's your why? And what's really driving you? And I'm going to say it here. I know everybody else has probably said it, but pizza parties, Starbucks gift cards is not employee engagement. Beanbag chairs. I went into one office once outside of Boston, and they had scooters. People can like ride around the office. They had beanbag chairs, and their cafeteria or lunchroom, they had a pool table and a ping pong table. And what's funny is over the pool table they had plexiglass. And I said, "Why do you guys have plexiglass over the pool table?" They said, "We use it as a cafeteria table because after the first week, nobody ever played pool again. So we just made it into another cafeteria table." Because they thought having all these things would engage their employees, but no, it did for maybe a few days, and then afterwards, they said the only thing they still use are the beanbag chairs. They had beer and wine on tap, but it was being used so little, the beer kept going stale, so they had to switch out the kegs. Um, yeah, that's not really going to engage employees long term. Like when you talk to somebody, why'd you stay at your job for 30 years? It's not going to be because there was a ping pong table in the lunchroom. It was because of the way I was treated. It was because I was doing work that was fulfilling to me, and my manager treated me well. That's why I stayed so long, and that's why I really enjoyed the work that I was doing there.